Hello there guys, hello and welcome back to yet another video. I'm your host Madnek as always, and this is my meaty build, short for May I Troll You build. This is a pistol dagger for a thief. This is my, if you want to know what kind of an armor I'm wearing, it's full set of Orion armor basically. Quite nice, my own coloring, who cares about that. Now for stats, those are the stats. Not much of critical damage, but that's we don't care about. Lots of vitality, a little bit of condition damage, but the most important thing is the bleed duration and condition duration. In total, I have 75% extra duration, which means my bleed will last for 7 seconds, but since I apply 5 bleeds every 5 seconds, then it will last for even longer, which means I'll have 10 bleeds almost always up, and it's basically a troll spec, like you see me, you don't, I move in, I move out, etc, etc. And I'll explain everything right now. Now for the layout, as you can see, first of all, when I swap, it's still the same thing. The main abilities are Cloak and Dagger and Sneak Attack. And if I'm not in Stealth, which gives me the cooldown for cannot go into Stealth, then I'll use my Vital Shot, that will still put a bleed for 7 seconds, and extra damage, always nice. Now bleeding in my build is the main output of damage. I get some damage from Cloak and Dagger when I do a backstab before I go stealth, and some damage if I want to slow down someone with Dancing Dagger, but that's not the real output of damage for me. The real output is the bleeds and the poison from the spider venom. Now my main abilities are stealth. I rely really highly on stealth since my toughness is really low compared to my dagger build that I used to have. So I'm quite squishy, even though I have a high health, but I'm still quite squishy because of my toughness and my armor. I would like to have about 3k armor, but you know, I rely a lot of stealth. That really helps me get out of trouble. It keeps me alive, it removes conditions, and I'll explain exactly with the traits. Now first of all the runes are, as you could see at my Madnek Syndrome 2.0, the PvE runes. That's the same runes that I have, 2 of Afflicted, 2 of Crate, and 2 of Centaur. Now each two pieces of the set gives me 15% of bleed duration, that's 45 in total. And I have extra 10 bleed duration from my set in here. As you can see in here, it's on my dagger, and it's in here, it's on my pistol. That already 55%, and I get extra 20% from my traits. So that's 75% of bleed duration, as I said before. Now on my sigils, on my other weapons, is Sigil of Superior Battle. Since I crippled basically my condition damage, I boosted up by my superior battle sigils, and by the might I gain from dodge and from going to stealth and from applying poisons as well. So I run, usually I will run around between 10 to 14 to 16 stacks of might, which quite a nice boost to my damage. Don't forget, might, each stack of might is 35 to my condition damage, and every 20 condition damage is extra to my bleed. So extra 1 damage to my bleed. So as you can see, 3 stacks of might and 3 stacks of might every time, and I swap almost every 10 seconds. Now, the layout that I use, usually Cloak and Dagger to go stealth, because I put 5 bleeds on the target, Hiding Shadows for the stealth, and I put 5 bleeds on the target. I use Shadow Refuge for mass AoE stealth, for either stealthing my comrades, or if I need a stealth res, which is a quite nice thing to do. I do it, many thieves also do it. And my elite, I saw some thieves use Dagger Storm. I prefer Thief Guild, because Dagger Storm can be avoided, and thieves are quite annoying and CC the players that I play against, especially if I play against 2 or maybe 3, depends on the situation. Now I'm using Caltrops. I saw many thieves either use, most of them use Signet of Shadows, which is really nice because it blinds people, and because you move really fast if you need to switch between bases, and basically that's what I mostly use if I'm going sort of a pre-made, so to speak, and we're going for a fast cap and etc. It's really good. But for fighting a lot of mobs, I'll use caltrops, and I can show you in this short video that I made. As you can see, there are like enough targets on the midpoint here, and you can see the bleed goes and ticks, and that's only for caltrops. I'm all alone there. There's nobody else doing damage, and that's all my old damage. Now let's get back to the original tutorial. Sorry. Some thieves use Shadow Step instead of Venom, Spider Venom, or instead of caltrops here. I saw thieves like that to get out of stealth, to get out of trouble, break stun, and cure the conditions. And others use Blinding Powder, which is really nice. Gives you stealth, gives you blind, the one that the same as the Signet Shadows does, and gives you extra stealth, of course. The only downfall with this one is you lose the speed. I tried with Needle Trap. It's really nice, especially against two-handed hammer guardians and warriors, they're quite annoying for me, especially with their stuns and their knockbacks and etc. But this one is really good. It does the poison damage, which is amazing. It reduces the heal, which is awesome, and it immobilizes them for 3.5 seconds. It does just a little bit damage, 158, as you can see. It depends. If I'll have more stacks of might, that it will do a little bit more. But this one is really good to slow down and to lock down your targets that are chasing you and whatever. But that's another story. I still prefer the caltrops because they give me wide range. Wow, my English, sorry. As you can see, there you go, the range is quite wide, and everyone in this area, I can kite them. As you could see at my, if you haven't seen the May I Troll You video, you can see over there that I've kited basically a defensive guardian. Usually what I keep a range of, enough range from, sorry, from my targets, so they could kinda chase me, but not really. If they're coming close, then I'll simply dodge away. Now, for my traits in here, whoops, sorry, I always click the achievements, damn it. Right, so traits is 20 in Deadly Arts. In here we go for when apply Venom, I get 2 stacks of might for 20 seconds, and my Venom skills recharge by 20%, which means every 30 seconds I can apply extra damage from my basically poison, and I get 2 stacks of might for 20 seconds, which is freaking amazing. And every time I steal, I also apply poison, which is even greater. Now, I don't know if I want to test it on this or not, but usually the way it goes, you could see that I missed that one because the range is, there you go, the range in here is 130, so we pretty much need to be in their face. Now, when I swap weapons, you can see I already have 8 stacks of might, 9. Let's see, I'll go stealth, I'm already on 12 stacks of might. I'll apply poison, 14. I'll swap weapons, 17, 18. Now it's back to 16 because I lost 3 stacks of might, and etc, etc. It just goes on and on and on. And the more might you'll have on, the more damage you'll do with your bleed, and the more damage you will do with your poisons, basically. Now back to the traits. Damn it, again achievements, freaking hell. 30 points in Shadow Arts. Again, enough toughness to, you know, give me a little bit of survivability. It gives me a big boost to my healing, which is amazing because this is the biggest heal you can have, hiding shadows. It gives me, basically, I use Shadow Embrace to remove 1 condition every 3 seconds. Since this is a huge big stealth, I can remove like tons of conditions if this one is on cooldown, which is amazing. Now, going stealth blinds nearby foes, it's great. It's really good, especially against two-handed warriors that go 100 blades on you. They usually will miss few hits. Gain might for 15 seconds every time I go into stealth. I just showed you that I could stack up to 18 stacks of might, and even perhaps even higher. It depends on the rotation, depends on the fight, depends how many players are in the game against me. Regenerate health while in stealth. Every time I go into stealth, I get a regen on me, which is freaking amazing. Now, 20 points in acrobatics. huge boost to my vitality, and boon duration, which increases my might by 20%. Which means if I get a stack of might for 20 seconds, you'll increase it by 20%. I think it's 24. Yeah, 24 seconds instead of 20, which is quite nice, if you ask me. That's basically good for when you swap weapons, because you get 3 stacks of might for 20 seconds. It's not 20, it's 24, and you do the math from now on. Now, I gain might every time I dodge, as I showed you. Dodging returns some endurance, which means I can dodge 3 times, and me personally, I use Assassin Reward because I use Cloak and Dagger quite a lot, and it gives me a nice heal. You can also go for dodging, remove crippled, and you can go for gain 10 seconds of regen and remove bleeding, poison, and burning when you struck and health is below 75%. I use it from time to time. It's really good, especially against condition build characters like Necros and Mesmas and other thieves, perhaps even, because usually what people will do, they will burst on you on the first few seconds, and this one is really good. They will burst all conditions on you. At 75% you remove bleeding, poison, and burning, so whatever conditions are left on you, like weakness, perhaps slowing, and perhaps confusion, that cannot be removed by this trait, but it still removes bleeding, poison, and burning, and you gain 10 seconds of regeneration. Plus, when you go to stealth, it refills itself, so to speak. The only problem with this one is it cannot be triggered. It can be triggered only 1 per 45 seconds, which is kinda annoying a little bit. But you know, it's all depends on your playstyle. I always say my builds are perfect for my own playstyle, and if I can help anyone else, then great. And if not, then you know, whatever, play the way you want to play. Nobody forces you to anything. Now, about stealing. A lot of people steal the wrong buffs from wrong characters. I mean, sometimes it's not up there. It's not, you know, they're kind of forced because it's a bad class to fight against or whatever. I mean, for Elementalist, if I'll steal from them, it gives me like a frontal slowing ability. Basically slows my target when I hit it, but I need to be in melee range for that. Engineer will give me a goo that will drops like a goo on the ground for a few seconds, and everyone in that goo will get a stack of conditions. Mesma gives me one of the better buffs. It gives me tons of boons. One of them is regen, one of them is might, one of them is speed. It gives me some protection, retaliation, etc., which is really good. Guardians have like a interrupt thing that you steal from them. Not one of my favorites. Necros have a fear, which is quite good. Ranger gives you a tree that will put a regen on you and remove conditions. Warriors gives you one of the better ones, especially for AoE. That's basically a whirlwind with axes around. And Thieves gives you one of my really favorite ones, because I rely so much on stealth. They will give you stealth when you steal from them. There you go, they gave me stealth. Let's see. When I swap to weapons. That gives me 3 stacks of might, and I applied poisons right away. Now I'm gonna heal myself just for the extra health. Swap again, apply more poisons. Now, basically what you need to do is move in, move out, put bleeds on, and that's job done. Now this stealth will stay with you until you basically use it, obviously. I usually keep it especially against thieves that are backstab, or thieves that are heartseekers, or even unload thieves. They all good for this use, because once I use Cloak and Dagger and I burn all my initiatives, and once I use my Hiding Shadows, and once I use my Shadow Refuge, that's it. I'm out of stealth. If they have an extra stealth, I need this one. Okay guys, so some action, some live action and some not live commentary because it's a post commentary. In here we're gonna take Raven, and I'm gonna fight a 100 Blade Warrior that has a shield as a secondary accent shield, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna put some caltrops around. As you can see, my might stack up already at 12 stacks. Just put bleeds on him. As long as it was in my caltrop, you could see the high damage that I gave him. I stole the whirlwind from him, did some damage. I go in Viz to finish him off. He cannot knock me off, he cannot control me, he cannot do anything basically. That's it. Warrior is freaking dead. In this video we have a ranger incoming. It's almost the end of the game already. We are losing it. It was just recorded for the explanations how I fight. As you can see, I swap around here, put bleeds on, put my poisons on obviously. The ranger is already going down. Now the thief is incoming, and most important thing, like I said, steal the stealth from the thief, because then you can do, you have the extra control. Just gonna finish the ranger off and put some bleeds on the thief. That was a backstab thief if I'm not mistaken, because they have that stun poison on. So, and obviously he uses the Signet of Shadows, and most backstab thieves use Signet of Shadows. Now Elementalists can be quite fun, especially the tanking one, but they go down as everyone else. The most annoying thing with the Elementalist, as they have that water attunement that basically can remove your bleeds away, which is quite annoying, but it just makes the fight longer than it's supposed to be. It still can be done though with no problems. Now as you can see, I always finish my targets, or try to finish my targets with stealth on, because it gives the illusion to the player that there's nobody there and he can do whatever he wants. Okay, now a warrior and a ranger. Let's see how that goes. I'm gonna summon two of my thieves. I'm gonna have one of my buddies to the team joining in. It's not really my buddy, but it's one of my team. The warrior is already going down. I just stole that whirlwind from him. Usually I use the whirlwind when I have at least 2 targets on. Then I can use, like, you know, I can basically nuke the target down. Not much of a problem here, because we have too many joining in. I would love to solo the warrior and the ranger. The ranger is quite hard to kill, because it's a sword dagger and is quite survival, like he's dodging a lot and etc. But he goes down like everyone else does. You know, you cannot avoid the going down. Sorry guys, but that's how it goes. Oh, I forgot to add something. This I'm adding after that I've done already the video. But people been asking me about my keybinds and the movement and etc in private messages and in the comments with the video that I made. The movement and the keybinds. So first of all, my right mouse button is always clicked, because as you can see, I can do fast rotation with this. If I need swapping, really searching for targets, etc. I use WASD for my movement. As you can see, if I need to run in rotation, there you go, I just press W and A and I run in a rotation like this. Now my one is always on auto attack, so I don't need to press that. It always put bleeds on as long as the target right in front of my face, as long as I can see it. So I just keep on running like this in a rotation, in a circle around my target. And if I never backpedal, I hope, but you know, if you need to keep running in a rotation, if you need to swap, if you need to dodge, dodging is V for me. It's really close to my hand. Now Q is my heal, E is my poison. As you can see, it's right to the left and to the right of W. Now SQ and SE. S doesn't mean the S key that I press to go back. It actually stands for Shift. So Shift Q and Shift E will put Caltrops and put Shadow Refuge. Shift F is also steal for me. I swap weapons with R, because it's right next to my hand, it's right next to my left hand that does everything. My pinky basically stands always on the shift. That's the only purpose that I have the pinky, I guess. So I could press the shift button. Now jumping is always the space, but you don't need jumping in freaking PvP. I don't know why I explain actually how to play this game, but whatever, people been asking, so why not. Now M5 stands for mouse 5, because my mouse has 7 buttons and I keybinded. I can macro commands and like control P, something that nobody uses ever, because they're quite far away from each other, etc. But I can macro it into my keybinds in the mouse, basically in its, you know, in the mouse settings himself. So for example, when I use M5, there you go, M5, I summon thieves. M4 for me is auto run, so I don't need to do anything. That's basically it. My mouse keybinds and my keyboards, their keybinds, they're all all around me, all around my fingers. And that's what you need to do. Fast action, fast movement, fast reaction. I'm not claiming that I'm the best PvPer. I'm probably one of the worst PvPers, but I'm just sharing the little info that I know with you guys. Hope it will help you out, and I hope my guide will help you as well. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. As always, like and favorite this video if you did, and leave a comment. What did you like, what didn't you like? And if you didn't like, dislike the video and tell us why.